welcome to the Demo Dive, where I live stream myself digging through Steam's demo tag to sort the trash from the treasure. I'm CB, and I actually have the spoons to demo dive during the week. My human-coded day job is still a bitch, and don't get me started about my coworkers, but at least it's not approaching literal lethality. Anyway, I'll have some company and mild escapism to wind down for upcoming more trash. Anyway, today's demo is Burn the Midnight Oil by Foxglove Games. It's a visual novel, and its genres and subgenres could fill a bingo card. Supernatural, urban horror, romance, which means paranormal romance is probably the best subgenre to use, all in a Sam Spade trench coat and fedora. The interesting thing about this one is that it's a different game depending on what character you choose as your point of view character. I'm not entirely sure I'm liking that approach, if only because it shuts off literally half the game if you don't want to play one or the other of the available POV characters. But honestly, I'm not sure I'm going to like either of the POV characters from what I've been reading about them. I'd be okay with it if we didn't have any kind of choice at all, weirdly, but it's somehow different when you're obliged to take effectively the lesser of two annoyances, because evil is a little strong, even for paranormal romance. Possibly especially for paranormal romance, which knows what it means when it says evil. Anyway, look, I have a choice of brash hellhound police officer or flirtatious vampire detective. And if I get to choose anything, why can't I choose something I would actually like? Still, it's always worth stepping outside one's comfort zone, even if I'm going to side-eye it for a while, for a variety of reasons. First I have to pick a character I'm not entirely sure I'm going to like, and I'm going to do this knowing that I'm going to lose half the story unless I play both characters I don't like so much. Anyway, let's see if the story makes up for the things I'm currently side-eyeing, shall we? Sitting comfortably? Good. Then we'll begin. This is a Kickstarter demo for Burn the Midnight Oil and not a finished product. Art, music, sound effects, and writing in this demo are all subject to change before the final game. We hope you enjoy playing. Click anywhere to continue. Let's see, setting, text speed, reasonably low, BGM sound, dialogue font. Okay, yes, full screen is better. Thank you very much. Okay, turn. Content warnings. Let's have a look at the content warnings. Burn the Midnight Oil contains mature themes and is intended for players 17 and older. An interesting legal age cutoff. It's usually 16 or 18. Anyway, player discretion is advised. Content warnings in the demo include, but are not limited to, horror, blood and violence, strong language, suggestive content, alcohol and drug references, substance abuse, references to past emotionally abusive relationships, and references to implied suicidal thoughts. That sounds cheerful. What do they mean by extras? That's credits. Probably just as well checking if not specifically seeing anything AI-ish about it, which is always a good thing. Hey, new game. Yeah, Circe or Dante. And I see, yes, you do get your, you get to look at them before you choose. Circe. Date of birth unknown, type vampire, occupation, private investigator, maker redacted. Great. Personal history. For 2 decades, Circe stalked the streets of North Haven as a private investigator. Accompanied by her sidekick Edgar, she mostly deals with trivial jobs like catching cheating spouses, finding missing pets, and slaying vampires. We're calling slaying vampires trivial now? In recent years, Circe's lost her passion for detective work, but this city isn't done with her just yet. When she's approached by 2 different clients looking for the same person, she decides to take on this one last case. Okay. What's the options with Dante? date of birth, 2nd of July. Well, I'm not sure if that's 2nd of July or February 2nd. That's always a problem with me. I don't know what country this has come from, so I don't know how we're reading the birth date here. Not that I suppose it matters, but might be nice to know. Type Demi scratching out hellhound and werewolf in its place. Occupation police officer. Scratched out. I'm not. Okay. Emergency contact Orion Walker. Personal history. Several years ago, Dante struck a deal with Orion, a former friend of his mother. Stuck in North Haven ever since, Dante unwillingly works as a cop. He spends his nights chasing criminals, waiting for the day when he'll finally have fulfilled his end of the deal. At last, Orion puts Dante on his final case. There's a suspicious new drug on the market he wants Dante to investigate, but the roots of this problem might be even more dangerous than they thought. Okay, so... you got some interesting, art background-ish. Don't forget your badge. Dante, stop messing with the files. No! And Zeno. Apparently that's one of our romance interests. Wanted for drug trade and... Oh, great. Type wizard, age unknown, eye color, black, green, blue, currently pink. Okay. So, changeable is what we're saying. What's in the background of Cersei's? Daily News. Beaumont Museum explosion! Staff baffled by surprise gas leak. I don't know who that person that we're drawing on is, but Nocturne Foreign Investigations. Yeah, I'm not getting a vibe off much of either of them beyond. I mean, you get a sense of what you might be about to go into. I only know about what I do about them because I read in depth on the Steam store page. So it's really not helping you make the decision of who you want to go in as. And I'm not entirely sure how... It's like they're not giving a whole lot of criteria on what... They're not giving you search criteria. That's the words I'm looking for. It's like you get a general idea of who they are, sort of, but that doesn't really give a whole lot of indication of whether or not you're going to enjoy playing as them. Which, I mean, okay, you want to just choose at random, or you're choosing by which gender you like to play, which paranormal creature you like to play, or generally maybe getting a vibe of what story you'd like, but the dossiers aren't telling you much. I'd like more incentive, I think, is where I'm sitting right now. Like, I know I'm gonna pick Cersei because I generally go for the female character options because, let's face it, I am much more practiced at faking being a girl than otherwise, but I don't know enough about them to know what I'm getting into, and it's still not giving me the vibe of selling me the character I'm going to spend the next few hours playing. Hi, we got a kind of an interesting one here today. We've got basically it's two visual novels crammed into one because you get a different story branch depending on which character you pick. I'm going for the vampire because they at least might remotely want to play along with society, and like I said, I'm better at faking playing a girl than anything else. But my other option was barely house-trained werewolf, frankly. So I don't know. It still annoys me that you miss half the game if you don't want to play one character. I'm giving this a try, but I'm still side-eyeing this, how they're handling it. I mean, generally you'd want to weave your two storylines together into one, and not have it be such a big deal if you don't pick one or the other. But no, you get half a game if you don't play both characters. Great, fine, wonderful. Let's see what else we've got. Somewhere. What? Don't remember the month. 1966, okay. That's helpful. Something not quite human sits on the edge of a stranger's bed. The fuck? Leisurely lapping at the blood coating her fingertips. Savoring her leftovers. She turns her head to stare at tonight's meal. A handsome man currently lost inside his dreams. She wants to be certain she's not imagining the steady rise and fall of his chest. The last thing she needs is a trail of bodies leading them to her. But even the imprints of her teeth on his fair skin have already faded. When he wakes up tomorrow, his memories of the entire night, of her too, will be gone. He'll go on with his life like he never met her. He'll get married, have a kid or two, grow old, die. She'll remember him for a while, but she won't be sad about it, or miss him, or ever ponder what could have been. Methinks the vampire doth protest too much. He's not the first meal whose bed she seduced herself into, and he could never be the last. So pretty. Her eyes trace the stranger's features one last time, searching in vain for a different face. His face. Before your humanity was stolen from you, could you have been anything like this man? Or have you always worn your penchant for destruction with unbridled pride? When the stranger stirs in his sleep, she accepts that she won't find whatever she's looking for here. The time has come to part ways. Sweet dreams, Arthur. At least she thinks that was his name. Oh, yeah, that's another thing. You're actually also cut off from some romance options if you don't play both characters. Because some romance options are only open for one character or another. Anyway. Maker crossed out. It is midnight, and I am writing to you from yet another city whose name I couldn't be bothered to learn. I'm not sure what day it is, or how long it's been since I bid you goodbye for the last time. Maybe it's been days, maybe it's been weeks. Maybe it's even been years. Since your death, I haven't had anywhere to call home. I only stay in one place long enough to take shelter while the sun is out, and then I'm back on the prowl. It's mostly men. I desperately want them to remind me of you, even though none of them look anything like the you I knew. Living or dead, I suspect no one will ever remind me of you. I should probably be grateful for that, shouldn't I? We're even redacting Maker, okay. I've taken to hunting every night just to keep sane, but I don't think it's working. I fear I might have lost my mind long ago without noticing. At least I don't think I'm making things worse. At least I'm keeping busy, which means I have less time to think. That's a good thing. If I think too hard or too long, I'll start thinking of you. I make bad decisions when I think of you. Remember how you always used to say that creatures like us weren't made for rules? I always disagreed, but only out of spite. We both knew you were right. I hate being told what to do. I hate it so much, I'll fuck everything up for myself just to do the opposite. I miss it now, though. If you were here, I wouldn't have these doubts. I wouldn't have to worry about right or wrong. You would make all the decisions. You alone would be responsible for the terrible, terrible consequences of our actions. Without you, I find I'm no longer just lonely. I'm alone. You promised me even death could never part us. So why didn't you take me with you? Shit. She slinks away from the crowds, seeking shelter in the shadows of the nearest alleyway. Shit, shit, shit! So this is it? All those years lead to this? She's still doing the exact same bullshit she used to do when she was trailing after him. Only now she's doing it alone. And to what end? What is the point of living like this? Hell, can you even call it living? Oh dear gods, we have the suicidal vampire trope. Great. What? She almost doesn't dare say it. What if I just ended it? Yeah, here we go. She's already died once. Her second death doesn't even have to count. Some might call it suicide, but Cersei gave up on heaven a long time ago. If such a place even exists, she was barred from entry many murders ago. All things must end someday anyway. Perhaps it's my turn now. That thought brings her a strange sense of peace. She slows her heart down, leans her head back against the brick wall, and just listens. She hears traffic. She hears laughter. She hears music. She hears colleagues stumbling to their next bar, arguing who owes the next round. She hears couples spilling out of the cinema, giggling and necking and whatever couples do. If she really, really strains her ears, she can even hear a couple of homeless drunks laughing their asses off over a joke that definitely doesn't deserve such unfiltered glee. It all sounds like life. Fuck. Fuck, 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 fuck. All these years. All these years. And she's ready to kick the bucket because... Because what? Because he's gone? She can't even make it a year without him? How is that fair? It's not fair at all. It's stupid, it's stupid, it's stupid, and worst of all, it's humiliating. She's mourned enough, doubted her decisions enough. She wants to live, so she's going to live. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. She'll keep going out of pure fucking spite if that's what it takes. Something drives through her chest, narrowly missing her undead heart. Well, that's... okay. I mean... you kinda asked for that. I don't know what else to say at this point. I mean, it's an interesting end to the emo thing. Thump. Thump, thump. Thump, 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 thump. There's a heartbeat. Beating so violently it has to hurt. It takes her longer than it should to remember that it can't be hers. What the fuck is this? It's like a mint humbug with anxiety. Her eyes shift from the improvised stake in her chest to the man responsible for it. Perhaps he's more of a boy than a man. He can't be a lot older than she was when she was changed. Not that any of that matters right now. A stake to the heart? How medieval of you! The man, boy, doesn't respond. He's busy watching in horror as she rips the stake out of her chest. She doesn't flinch at the pain. It's there, like an incessant little bug, but it doesn't really hurt. Never does anymore. If I may offer you some advice for the next time you try to murder one of us, don't bother with the classics. Crosses, garlic, and all that nonsense, none of it works. Except the sun. But she's not stupid, so she's admitting that part. Don't be afraid. She takes a step forward. He's trembling now, but still, not a word. You're the one who tried to kill me. Shouldn't I be the one to fear you? She catches her hand right before it touches his face. She hadn't even realized she was reaching for him. It's a bad habit of hers. She's always cold, so she's always reaching for warmth. Why don't we play a game? Why don't you guess what can kill me? She doesn't like the silence. She wants to make him talk. If you get it right, I'll even reward you. Generous, no? More silence. This isn't some trick. I find you vaguely entertaining, so I intend to let you keep your life either way. Still silent. She stomps her foot, frustration seeping through. You're not going to talk to me at all. He's not even meeting her eyes anymore. She follows his gaze downwards. Ugh, men. Interesting choice of priorities, checking out my boobs at a time like this. What? No, that's vile. I would never do that. He speaks. Well, now I'm offended. What's wrong with my boobs? Nothing, I think. I mean, I wouldn't know because I wasn't looking at your chest area. Well, I mean, not until you were... a mint humbug is a kind of a candy here in the UK. It's brown and stripy, like this. And anyway, what I was saying was, yes, you were looking at her chest area. You had to be looking at her chest area to stick a stake through it. I'm not that kind of man. Then what kind of man are you? He ignores the question. I was looking at that. He gestures wildly to the hole in her chest. Oh. Or rather, where the hole used to be, less than a minute ago. It's already healed, like it was never there. Another reason luck isn't on your side tonight. I just fed. What? I just fed, so I heal faster. The blank, stupid look on his face is oddly endearing. I'm sorry. He still looks like a mint humbug with anxiety. Don't tell me what I find endearing. Do you know nothing about our biology? Idiot. What did you say to me? I called you an idiot. Would you like me to repeat that? He whips out the knife she already knew he was hiding in the pocket of his coat. Don't patronize me! He points the blade at her. Or call me an idiot. If you behave like an idiot, I'm going to call you an idiot. Simply smarten up if it bothers you. You think I care what you think of me, you leech? Evidently, you're not particularly good at hiding your thoughts. Why are you dragging this out? I'll never beg a vampire for my life if that's what you're waiting for, so just kill me and be done with this already. She sort of, kind of, not really tries to stifle her laugh. It pisses him off even more. What's so funny? Sorry, it's just your accent. I only realized it now, but it's so British. Welcome to North Haven, England, where quite literally everyone talks like this. Oh, so that's where we are? She looks around, taking in her surroundings for the first time. She's not sure how she got here. But it doesn't matter anymore, does it? She's here now. You're not from here. What gave it away? Your accent? Are you American? When it's convenient. I suppose it doesn't matter where you come from. You still fit in perfectly with the other bloodthirsty freaks in this city. Ha! You amuse me. I definitely can't kill you now. Why not? Why, you almost sound disappointed. Of course not! But it doesn't matter what I want. You should do it anyway. Why? Because we can't both walk away from this. It doesn't work that way. Says who? He rolls his eyes. How about this? If you don't kill me first, I'm going to stab you in the back as you walk away. You put a Yes, I found a mint humbug with anxiety, and I also found a frickin' ban evasion individual. Yeah, no, we're going to report the hell out of you. Viewership tampering. Submit report. Lock this user. Goodbye, please. Thank you. Okay, can we get back to the mint humbug with anxiety who doesn't seem to understand that if a stake through the heart didn't kill her, a knife in the back is probably going to do exceptionally little beyond piss her off over the ruination of her dress. With that silly little kitchen knife? I've seen babies with stronger grips on their toys than you've got on that. His grip loosens. Meanwhile, I could kill you with minimal effort. Right here, right now. I could snap your skinny little neck with my bare hands and not even break a sweat. Only that wouldn't be very fun, now would it? I don't kill as often as you may think, so I like to take pleasure in it when I do. I'd make it slow. Slice your neck, but keep the cut shallow enough that I have to suck the blood out. I prefer to drink straight from the tap, you see. More intimate that way. Once I've drained you, I'll dump your corpse behind one of these bins and skip town. By the time someone finds you, I'll be long gone. Nobody will even know I was here. He lowers his knife, averting his eyes to stare at nothing in particular. Do what you want. There's no one left who would care enough to try and find me anyway. She recognizes the frustration in his eyes all too well. She's seen it countless times in her own reflection. So I'm taking it that this particular vampire mythos is involves actually being able to see somebody in a mirror. Look, it's Battle of the Emo. It's just different kinds of emo. This is I'm given typo negative emo. He's giving pulp emo. Monsters took someone from him, just like a monster once took someone from her. Well, no one will have to. As I keep saying, I'm not going to kill you. He hurries to object, but she lifts a finger, and that's enough to shut him up. And you can't kill me. You're bold, I will give you that, but I don't think you could even kill the weakest of us. You're not strong enough. And that's not an insult, or a slight against your ego, or an attempt at undermining you. It is simply fact. But the thing is, that's true, but we don't know if it's that mirrors aren't backed with silver anymore, therefore reflections can be seen, or that it's a mythos that does not follow the vampires cannot be seen in mirrors thing. Because some don't. I mean, there's some that recognize that it's the silver that does it, some that just say you don't have a soul, therefore you don't have a reflection, and some that say reflection is reflection and it's going to happen if an actual physical object is standing there, silver or no silver. So there's a lot of wibbly wobbly in vampire mythos about that kind of thing. So it's interesting to see where they are here, which it narrows the options, put it that way. So it could be that they're acknowledging that it's the silver that makes the reflection impossible to see, or that the whole vampires cannot be, that don't have reflections is bullshit. Just like she did also say the crosses, the garlic, the holy water, also bullshit. So we're kind of homing in on the vampire mythos in this particular world, which is kind of interesting. What the glossary has to say? Absolutely nothing, so that's not going to help me. Not yet, anyway. Apparently part of this game is finding glossary information. So you'd think that, that those particular pieces of vampire lore would qualify as glossary worthy, but Nope, we don't care why vampires are or how vampires are. We're just doing this, okay? Anyway, yes, it is simply fact. You are too weak. Don't you think you're underestimating me a little too much? No, I see you exactly as you are. You're no threat to me. You're no threat to anyone. You are a mint humbug with anxiety! You want revenge, but for whatever reason, you can't kill the one you actually want dead, so you poured all your resentment into the first vampire you could find. Me, apparently. Maybe you thought I'd be an easy kill. Maybe you really thought you could do it. But if I had to guess, I think you knew you would fail. I think you wanted to die. I imagine you've changed your mind by now. Staring death in the face, you're no longer so tough. Still, your pride prevails, so even if anything I just said happened to be the truth, you'd never admit to it. Would you? He drops the knife on the ground, and Cersei knows she's got him. He's not weak because he feels fear, or because he still looks at her like she's a person deserving of empathy, or worse, sympathy. He's weak because he was born that way. Cersei was much stronger when she met the one who made her. Ah, there we go. Her maker had spent an eternity mastering the art of pretending to be something he'd never be again. Yet when she laid eyes on him, she'd still see what he really was. Yeah. There we go. The creator of another vampire. It is the duty of the vampire's creator to mentor their apprentice, but this tradition isn't always followed by the clanless. Vampires abandoned by their creators are often at a disadvantage in the world, especially in vampiric society. Okay. A monster. But even knowing that, she'd still lost to him. She'd still been too weak. Are we contemplating turning him? Is that what's happening here? Do we want a vampiric mint humbug with anxiety? Not anymore, though. If you'd like, I could teach you. Seeing his confusion, she elaborates. How to kill vampires, I mean. You would teach me how to kill your own kind? Yeah, why not? No matter how much of an idiot you think I am, surely you don't think I'd believe that's a genuine offer. Your kind prey on the weak, but you're loyal to your own. Even I know that much. He's not wrong. Contrary to popular belief, most vampires are social creatures. They thrive when they're together. In theory, at least. Reality is more complicated. It's frowned upon, I know, but I don't mind offending people. As a matter of fact, it might just be my favorite pastime. So it's not just me. You're insufferable with everyone. How dare you? But yes. Yes, I am. She offers her hand with a smile far too dangerous for anyone sensible to trust. What do you say? Do we have a deal? Only an idiot would strike a deal with a devil like you. Or someone moderately desperate. A moderately desperate idiot, then. Sighing, he takes her hand. She bites back a grin. Before I forget, what's your name? Edgar James Thorne. That sounds so pretentious. I'm just going to call you Eddie, okay? If you must. What about you? What's your name? Have I told you? Would you even use it? Well, yes. That's what people do, isn't it? Call each other by one another's names? It's been a while since anyone's used her name, but she supposes it would be rude to withhold it from him now. They call me Cersei. So may you. His grip on her hand tightens. I want to ask you something, Cersei. Yes? When you've taught me all that you can, what's going to stop me from killing you? She allows herself that grin now, showing him all her teeth. Nothing but your own compassion. North Haven, 1986. We're in the 80s. Paranormal romance, Stranger Things, go! Finding Elysium isn't difficult. Elysium. Founded by the vampire Lazarus back in the 70s, Elysium is an underground music club, as well as the only sanctuary in all of North Haven. Did we borrow this directly from World of Darkness? Lazarus created Elysium to provide the local vampires with a steady supply of clean, fresh blood. Local authorities generally allow Elysium to deal with any conflict internally, as long as their business continues to keep vampire-related crime off the streets. Various spells and other magic tricks are used to keep Elysium's exact location a secret from anyone who hasn't received an invitation. Other local supernaturals know the club is somewhere underground and little else. The dark doesn't bother Cersei the way it might others. Even if it did, she's navigated these tunnels enough times to remember each step. It's getting inside that poses some trouble. It wasn't always such a hassle. Cersei was once a regular at Elysium, cautiously welcomed by its patrons because of her relationship with Lazarus. And the founder of Elysium, Lazarus is a gifted vampire, but the specifics of his powers are an open secret few dare to mention to his face. Despite his penchant for dramatics and his infamous reputation as a hedonistic drunkard, Lazarus is still deeply beloved by his patrons, who teasingly refer to him as their prince. So we're a lamp-shading Vampire the Masquerade so hard. Okay, I can work with that. No, apparently in this world it's an open kind of a thing. That's where some places take it. I think the hiding underground supernatural is kind of not working as well as it could, except in period pieces like this one, just because we are living in a surveillance state, all of us, all the time, so it would probably be very hard to keep supernatural affairs a secret, which hell is why the thing is, most people write either when they're hiding in the shadows or after they stopped hiding in the shadows, when they're an open thing. I'm currently writing the process of getting from hidden to out there. It's harder than you'd think. Although it did mean that I got to have a giant dragon land on the animated Trafalgar Square Lions, so that was fun. Anyway, Lazarus also happens to be the only boyfriend Cersei's ever had. When their tumultuous relationship ended some years ago, Lazarus didn't take it very well and indefinitely banned Cersei from Elysium. Rumor has it the two have been acquainted since long before they ever stepped foot in North Haven. Monikers: Prince of Elysium, Laz, Asshole, Dickhead, etc., etc. Okay. This is... oh, dear gods. I'm gonna have to deal with X bullshit. Wonderful. It's been 6 or so years now since she'd been warned to never show her face here again. Of course, that flimsy ban has never stopped her before, nor will it stop her tonight. The bouncer standing guard cut straight to the point. Since you managed to find your way here, I take it you've got an invite. It's not a question. Lazarus paid a pretty penny for the spells that ensure only those with an invitation will ever reach Elysium. Fortunately for Cersei, no one remembered to amend those spells when she was banned. Aw, you don't recognize me. Should I? Yes. But given that she doesn't recognize him either, he's probably new. Lucky me. So this is what we look like. Yeah, I mean, that's some cleavage. I gotta give it that. That is some cleavage. And those fingernails. I'm thinking that there are probably same-sex romance options, and I don't want to think about the problems inherent with those fingernails. I'm just saying. Lucky me. What do they call you? Vampire names. When a vampire is born, their maker, sometimes their clan, will grant them a new name. It is not only a sign that they have been reborn, but also a symbol that they have been embraced by their new kin. Of course, there have been exceptions, instances where a vampire's creator has allowed them to choose their own name. However, it would most likely be assumed that your kin has decided not to accept you as one of their own. When asking a vampire for their name, it is customary to ask, what do they call you, or what do they know you as? This tradition isn't followed as closely by non-vampires or vampires outside the clans, so we actually literally have, like, the Camarilla and then the frickin', well, I suppose Anarchs are still clannish, I suppose. But still, anyway. But in certain circles, it is a significant faux pas to not do it this way. He might not recognize her, but he'll definitely have been warned of her name. She thinks quickly. Donna. It's not going to be on the list, but it doesn't need to be. That's what her talent is for. Gifts are innate powers passed down from generation to generation through vampiric. We are in Vampire the Masquerade. The further away you are from the primordials, the original... my god. Most modern vampires do not have a gift, making it a symbol of status to have one, even though some gifts might arguably more than a curse of blessing. Talents or abilities nearly any vampire can learn, but only if the ability is taught to them by another vampire. Different clans have hoarded different talents over several generations. Oh my god. They are very defensive, the ones they have collected, determined to protect the secrets from other clans and clanless vampires. Does that mean if I played Dante, I'd be smack in the middle of, like, being a bone gnawer or something? Jesus Christ. Donna. He flips through the guest list till he hits the bottom of the last page. Yeah, no Donna. He takes a more aggressive stance, but it's all bravado. He reeks of insecurity. She will gladly exploit that. Seduce him. It's been a while, hasn't it? I might be rusty. Seduce him, intimidate him, persuade him. Huh. Well, of course I'm not on that list. I'm not one of your every night patrons. I have been personally invited by your boss. The bouncer shuffles his feet, red eyes running over her form. When Cersei smiles, he nervously smiles back. You're certainly his type. Still, I can't let you run on your word alone. If you wait here, I'll quickly confirm with Nisha. Elysium's manager, as well as Lazarus' right-hand woman. She may only be human, but her street smarts have earned her the reluctant respect of Elysium's patron. For the right price, she sometimes sells information, but nothing that would ever jeopardize the future of Elysium. Some of Elysium's patrons like to speculate that Nisha and Lazarus are secretly lovers, but anyone who actually knows them would know that this is no more than hogwash. Nisha is like a sister to Lazarus. They bicker often, but he trusts her more than he trusts himself. Cersei rests a hand on his bare forearm, leaning forward with a dangerous grin. You should trust me. I have no reason to lie to you. Right? Right. That was easy. Compulsion isn't mind control. She can't force people to entirely transgress their own nature. Yeah, I don't think I need to read that particular bit of the glossary. If you're remotely familiar with Vampire the Masquerade, you know exactly what the hell is going on here. It simply sways people in certain directions. Different methods: seduction, intimidation, persuasion, work on different people. The weaker their will, the farther she can push them. With enough practice and the right target, you could convince someone to do almost anything. Now, may I come in? What? Oh, yeah, of course you can. He shakes his head, still in a daze, and steps aside. Sorry about that. We'll get it sorted with Nisha so you're on the list next time. How sweet of you. And just like that, she's in. Elysium. The only sanctuary in the city for creatures of the night. Yeah, vampire exclusive, blah, blah, blah. Since the 70s, Elysium's been an Epicurean haven for vamps to gather and feast without repercussions. Donors. That's what they call the humans selling their blood here. Some of them are natural masochists, taking pleasure in being fed on. Others are only here to make some good money. Most are here for both, and a select few loonies come here with dreams of one day becoming vampires themselves. Ah, the change. So, we alternately known as the first death, so we're not doing the embrace thing. At least there's that. but to my knowledge few, if any, have yet had the honor of experiencing the change. It's been nearly a year since Circe last set foot in Elysium. One quick look around promptly reminds her why she's been avoiding the hellhole. Nothing's changed. Everything's exactly the same. Circe inhales, her stale lungs breathing the irresistible saccharine scent of blood. I've never found anything saccharine smelling to be irresistible, because saccharine gives me the vibe of just the ersatz fake. It's literally fake sugar, so I don't see what we're doing here. Like, I suppose there's a certain amount of juxtaposition there that I suppose makes sense for a vampire, but I'm not sure about that word choice. And I'm starting to get the significant nitpicky about the language, so it's pretty clear they've about half lost me by this point. Anyway, the familiarity should comfort her. In a city that's rapidly changing, more so now than ever, Elysium's been one of her only constants. But it gets so damn boring. Among the 40 to 50-something vamps who permanently reside in North Haven, Circe can count on one hand which ones aren't regulars in Elysium. Yeah, North Haven, a city somewhere in England. I'm loving that, because we don't really... North Haven would be like a town. That's the kind of name we give towns. And I wonder if they'd even considered looking up England, like, at all. Because none of this gives me the vibe of England. I mean, apart from Jarvis Cocker Mint Humbug with anxiety, he definitely gave that vibe of somebody has really taken a particular era of Beatles as being the only thing about England worth knowing. Which, thanks! They're a tight-knit group who come here night after night to dance, drink, and smooch. Vampires are using the term smooch now? Seriously? As for what brings Circe herself here tonight? The same reason she always comes to Elysium. She's looking for someone. Let's see. She double-checks the picture the client provided. It's an old photograph. A blonde guy, cute enough if you're in his age group, with baby blue eyes and a smile that's up to no good. Basically, I'm looking for a less alive version of this guy. Cool. She scans the dance floor for a mop of blonde curls, but there's no one. Either our intel was off and he's not here yet, or like most of us, he's taken on a different look in his new life. It's annoying they don't have a more recent picture, but this is what the client offered, and Edgar couldn't find anything more recent, so Edgar's our sidekick now? For now, she should find someone who might have a better idea of where she can find him. Question is, should I find Nisha or Lazarus for that? Fuck it, I'm going straight for the X. Talking to Lazarus is a horrible idea, which is exactly why she's going to do it. She already knows where to find him. He rarely leaves his private lounge. What the fuck is this? Lazarus. He's called by more than one name. The Prince of Elysium. Asshole. Dickhead. Occasionally Laz, but only by those who've had the misfortune, or pleasure, reviews vary, of being part of his inner circle. To Circe, he's just Lazzy. Former fling, current pain in the... What the fuck? Don't act shy, baby. It doesn't suit you. Circe steps past the guards and the curtains, eyes doing a quick sweep of the hazy room, even though she knows it won't have changed. Eventually, her eyes have nowhere to go but Lazarus. Yeah, I'm sorry, the bone white thing might also be a reason why it's a little hard to not look at that. Yeah, okay. I wonder what it's like for a vampire to get tattoos. I mean, it's ink under skin, so is it something that they should theoretically heal past, or just does it never fade? Because, you know, blood's not circulating and things along those. I don't know. I'm gonna be thinking about that all week. He sprawled out on that gaudy, overpriced sofa he loves to death, watching her with a look that says he hasn't decided if he should be furious or aroused by her unwelcome appearance. At this point, I'd honestly prefer furious because, I mean, maybe I'm too ace for that, but does anyone really want to do that? Because I don't think I want to do that. That's Goth Slender Man! Staring back at him, she almost understands why he captured her interest in the first place. The character I'm playing has no fucking taste. I don't want to bone Goth Slender Man! He's got those sad, coked-up eyes teenage girls like to fantasize. Maybe I've always been too ace for this, but my teenage years did not involve any kind of fantasies like that. I may have liked the heavy metal thing, but the singers were beside the point. In another life, he could have been a famous rock star. His gaunt face and cocksure grin would have been plastered all over the city, on billboards and magazine covers, and as a drunken tattoo on some poor college girl's ass. Magazine covers and tattoos, yes, but stars of that type don't tend to wind up on billboards. I mean, I've seen advertisements for like groups, but they've never featured that much in terms of what the stars look like, particularly not when it's that. I did have one at one point I passed by, because apparently Boyzone are doing a reunion tour, and I swear to God I took one look at that advert on that bus shelter, and the first thought that went through my mind was, surely they'd be Manzone by now. But yeah, beyond that, you don't find this on billboards. Also, if we're talking about, like, New Haven, UK doesn't really have billboards like that. In this life, he's nothing but wasted potential. But he's not completely useless. You just have to approach him the right way. Well, he seems to be interested in my being brash, so let's be brash. Cersei starts talking before he's even sat up. Don't you get sick of talking like that? Like what? She mimics his ridiculous accent. I'm Lazarus, and I like naked chicks, and big guitars, and rock and roll, and even bigger Of course, Lazarus responds by exaggerating it even more. You know you like it, baby. She gags. You know, I'd prefer it if you called me a bitch. I'm not that much of a dick. Then invite me to sit if you're such a gentleman. He pretends to hesitate, but he's so impatient he can't maintain this charade for any longer than a second. Whatever, you're already here. Go on, beautiful, have a seat. She eyes the settee opposite him for any suspicious fluids before she sits. Better safe than sorry. As petty as ever, aren't you? Me? Petty? I don't know what you're talking about. Sure you don't. What brings you here tonight? I'm looking for someone. Putain. The French slips out without his permission, a reminder of his real accent. Lazarus cranes his head back and groans. Of fucking course you are. Who's the unlucky man this time? Who says it's a man? You're wearing that sadistic smile you only put on when you're about to torture some poor bastard. She fishes out the photograph from her bustier, pretending she doesn't notice how his eyes shamelessly linger on her cleavage. Oh, Boyzone is a boy band. They're mostly, like, here. They're kind of like... They'd been around since the 90s, put it that way. Like, they were a thing when I first moved here. And that was, like, 33 years ago? So if you can imagine that that Boyzone is going back on tour now. That's the thing. I don't know what they call him, but I hear he's a fangling. Apparently he's been seen around Elysium the past few nights. Is that supposed to mean anything to me? She shoves the photo forward with impatience. He's one of your patrons, you tell me. Lazarus squints at the picture. Oh, this picture better be fucking ancient. Kid has no style at all. He'll look totally out of place at Elysium. I'm not here for your opinion on his abysmal sense of fashion. I'm sorry, you two can talk? Like, you both look like you fell out of Hot Topic for Millionaires. Do you know him or not? He squints harder. Yeah, no, I've got no clue who this is. And thank fuck for that. I get nauseous just looking at him. That's what you're focused on right now. What, do you want me to lie to you? Kid's got an unfortunate face. That's not my fault. He turns away from the photo like it's offended him. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. You know, I actually suspect I'm allergic to the anesthetic. Cersei rolls her eyes, stashing the picture back inside her bustier. Anyway, you know very well it's Nisha's job to keep track of who comes and goes. I've got more important shit to do. She eyes the glasses scattered around his table. Like drinking yourself to death over and over again? Lazarus rolls his eyes at the question. They both know why he feels the need to drink as much as he does. Nisha loves responsibility. I don't. That's why we're perfect partners. Remind me, what do you contribute to this partnership? A lot. Like... You know what? Nothing comes to mind at this moment, but I'm sure there's something. Elysium might be Lazarus's brainchild, but when it comes to running the place, he'll only do what he wants to do. Which isn't much. It's his right hand, Nisha, a human who manages everything. Most of his patrons protested when she was appointed manager, but she's had a decade to earn their grudging respect. When Nisha finally decides to usurp you, I'm taking her side. You're right. You would miss me too much if something happened to me. I disagree. Care to find out who's right? He downs the rest of his drink, at the same time gesturing for another with his free hand. One of the donors on standby slices her palm, dripping fresh blood into a clean glass. She hands it over with an adoring smile. For you, master. Thanks. He accepts it without even glancing at the woman, who obediently scuttles back to her corner of the room. Cersei watches the entire interaction with disgust. Can we be honest, Cersei? Come on, let's be honest. You're a smart woman. You already knew I wouldn't know him. He sips his drink with surprising restraint, watching her over the rim of his glass. So, why come to me? In all honesty, she's not sure. It's definitely not because she missed him. Lazarus had a way of crawling under her skin that makes her feel alive again, but she's never been a masochist. Maybe she was hoping he'd be the cure to the chronic boredom haunting her as of late. Could that be it? How naive of me. Elysium hasn't changed since she was last here, and the same goes for Lazarus. He puts on a good show with his theatrics, but he is just as permanent as the rest of them. Unable to grow, unable to change, unable to escape this. Okay, bye. Since you refuse to be useful, I'm not going to waste any more of my time. If luck is on my side, we will never see each other again. Bye. You're leaving? Already? Don't be so dramatic. She stands up, more than ready to get the hell out of here. Lazarus chucks his glass aside and leans forward, reaching out. Do not touch me. And stops right before their fingers can brush. I wasn't going to. He reclines again, hands raised in mock peace. Look, it's no secret I have a soft spot for you. I've always been lenient when it comes to your hobbies. But I'm still running a business here. Elysium's clientele have certain expectations when it comes to safety, so I can't let you prance in here as you wish and murder one of them on a whim. Haven't we already been over this? I feel we have. More than once. The conversation tends to end in her favor. Who said anything about murder? Do I look fucking stupid to you? Fine, who says I need your permission to kill him? Don't worry, I am under no impression that words alone will be enough to stop you. You respond far better to other methods. Is that a threat? What? No. If I say it is, will you leave without killing my customer? Okay, that one line almost redeems this entire thing. No, I'll just kick you in the balls first. Hot. Oh my god. And now you've ruined it. You're disgusting. Baby, you know your threats always turn me on. Help. Lazarus straightens in his seat, as much as his permanently inebriated state allows him to. Look, I don't give a shit what my clients get up to outside Elysium, but inside my club, murder kinda sucks for business. But you don't want to have that Fangling as one of your patrons anyway. He's bottom-of-the-barrel scum who preys on vulnerable women, escorts, and the homeless, and whoever else he's decided won't be missed. Is he wrong in thinking that? Okay, now she's seriously considering kicking him. Just one kick! He won't even feel the pain through all the substances he's abusing. Keep your fangs to yourself, little bat. I'm not saying I agree with his choice of sustenance, but I'm sure we can both see where his reasoning comes from. Or are you going to pretend he's the only vamp in North Haven to prey on the most vulnerable? As Lazarus gets more agitated, his real accent starts to slip through. We cannot all be like you, mon coeur. We cannot all be bothered to pretend like we can be friends with our food. Cersei curls her lip at the snub. Besides, if I start judging all our patrons based on their conduct outside Elysium, I won't have any customers left. Well, before you suggest that could be a good thing, consider this. Without an endless legal supply of fresh blood, what do you think all the hungry vamps in this city are going to feed on? Damn it, he's making sense. She hates it when he does. It's only a matter of time before he attacks one of your donors. Now that makes him pause. Lazarus has never tried to hide his lack of love for humans, but he does care for the well-being of his donors. We don't know if it's out of genuine empathy, hidden somewhere deep inside that dead heart of his, or if it's just because them dying would be an inconvenience, but he tries to keep them out of harm's way. That would be bad for business. You got a particular reason to believe he would do that? Call it a bat's intuition. Or just common freaking sense. But Laz has never listened to that, so... Intuition? Ha! I've listened to your intuition before. It's gotten me into trouble one too many times to count. But it's also saved your ass plenty of times, hasn't it? I guess. Alright. Say I believe you. I still can't ban the Fangling unless he's actually broken one of Elysium's rules. It'd make me look bad. But if you leave him be and he hurts one of your donors, you look even worse. Damn, this is inconvenient. He scratches his nose, a nervous tick he's had as long as she's known him. It never fails to irritate her. Okay, how about this? If he really is just some nobody Fangling, I could hypothetically turn a blind eye. Like he believes himself, some people are simply too unimportant to be remembered when they're gone. Don't do whatever you're going to do anywhere near here, though. Don't want Orion and his circus coming here to snoop around. Oh, that's how this links into the other story, because Orion is the other character we could play as a handler. An inspector in the Supernatural Crime Division, making him Dante and Raoul's superior officer. Despite being a vampire, Orion has a human family. Both his wife and his daughter are aware of his identity and job. Okay. Officially, Orion's daughter Alice is adopted and not his biological child. Vampires shouldn't be able to have children, making Alice a miracle that has to be kept secret. Wait. Please tell me this is not frickin' Renesmee. If her identity gets out, it might catch the attention of questionable people. Perhaps it is because of this similarity that Orion finds it difficult to not constantly worry about Dante. Okay, fine. Or even worse, that lilac-eyed bastard you're so fond of. I am not fond of him. That's your paranoia talking. But of course I can be discreet. Just make sure your sycophants know I've got permission to roam Elysium freely for the night. I'll let the staff know to send the Fangling your way if they see him, but be quick about it. Makes people nervous to see North Haven's biggest vampire slayer loitering around. Couldn't pay me to stay another minute. She's already said more than she wants to, but of course Lazarus isn't done yet. He has to have the final word. Anytime I don't see you for a while, I forget how infuriating you can be. She's afraid to meet his gaze, already knowing what awaits. That look of pure, unadulterated affection. It's insanely sexy. You're repulsive. Have I ever told you that? More than once. Gets me rock hard every time. Ugh. Don't worry, you don't need to like me back. I enjoy the violent sadness your revulsion brings me. What? Because Lazarus loves to wallow. It's all he ever does. He done it even during their entire thing together, whatever it'd been. She's happily sworn off relationships since theirs ended. Clearly, they're just not for her. And yet, a part of her still... No, love's just not for me. I'm sorry for the way things ended. I should have appreciated you more. It's the same speech every time. You were right to break up with me then, but it's never too late to take me back. Won't you let me be yours again? Please? Oh, please, who is she trying to pretend she is? The bigger person? So you make a choice and it doesn't make a fuckload of difference. Great, thanks. Although it wasn't really much of a choice anyway because you only got the one option. This game loves to pretend you have choices and then take them away. But you cannot seriously want that. I want you all the time, Sissy. I always have. We were awful together. With or without you, I'm a poor excuse for a man. We might as well be awful together. Where's your sense of shame, Lassie? Shame? The fuck would I need that for? Shame is a disease. All it does is stop you from going after what you really want. Maybe what we want isn't what's best for us. When has either of us ever cared what's best for us? Her skin crawls under his intense stare. Whatever, I've got a Fangling to catch. Very well, see you in a few months, I guess. Lazarus doesn't try to hold her back this time. She leaves, feeling more disappointed than she deserves to. She should have known tonight wouldn't be any different. She's not sure why she even wanted it to be. And we're actually well past that time. Well, let's see what happens with this Fangling, shall we? Late to bed, but fuck it. Not much time passes before one of Elysium's goons notifies Cersei of the Fangling's arrival. Apparently they call him Seth. One of Laz's lackeys picked his name up from Nisha. Yeah, Fangling, who showed up in North Haven recently and has already built up an unsavory reputation. An anonymous client paid Thornton Investigations to slay him for reasons unknown. So, Thorn, we've named the whole investigation company off the mint humbug with anxiety? We named the investigative agency for him? Really? Moments later, Cersei finds Seth loitering near the stage. She was right to assume that he's changed since the photograph. He's at least a few years older, though still young enough to have just graduated university. He shaved off the baby fat and grown a mediocre mustache, but the cheeky smile he shoots her way is identical to the one in the picture. For a split second, Cersei hesitates. He still looks so young, so full of life, even in death. Then she remembers what he's done. She remembers the women he's hurt. She remembers he deserves this. Hey. He's grinning from ear to ear, a little too brightly for someone who's supposed to be dead, as she closes in. Well, hello there. What do they call you? Does it matter? You're welcome to call me whatever you want. Really? Typical of a Fangling, Seth is a slave to his own impulses. Perhaps he's merely deferring to her as an older vampire, or he simply can't help his excitement at a woman showing interest in him first. Either way, she smiles, deciding there's no point in wasting time. Seduction has always come easiest for her. You should come somewhere with me. Somewhere more private. Seth lunges at the opportunity without reservation. Probably didn't even need to use the compulsion either. Sure, when? I can go any time. Now, where to? She hides her disgust behind a well-timed giggle. Come with me. She slips a hand into his and guides the overly eager vamp through the crowd. The bouncer who almost didn't let her in earlier still guards the entrance. He doesn't say anything when he sees them, simply watching as they disappear down the dark tunnel. When they get out of the tunnels, Cersei leads Seth through the streets with confidence, knowing exactly where to bring him. It's where I met Eddie for the first time, 20 years ago. I spared his life that night, but I've ended many lives there since to make up for it. Seth doesn't shut up once. I've never been with a vamp before. Is it better than sex with humans? Shouldn't we get some blood first? He enjoys the sound of his own voice too much. Not even once does he question her silence. Cersei stops at the end of the dingy alley, far enough away from Elysium to maintain her end of the deal. Seth looks around with a frown. You want to do this here? Wouldn't a nice girl like you prefer a hotel? Not a girl. Seth's jaw drops stupidly. You mean... I was referring to my age. Oh yeah, of course not. I'm sure you're experienced. Anyway, I'd invite you back to mine, but I don't have a place yet. Just rolled into North Haven the other night. Still getting my shit sorted out. She ignores him, letting him laugh nervously to himself while she looks around, checking there's no junkies or creeps hiding around the corner. Seems it's just the two of us here. And he's back to being excited. Oh, you dirty girl. You had a kink for doing that outside, yeah? Ew. You picked a great spot then. No way anyone will find us here. As long as we're on the same page. She lunges for him, grabbing him by the throat and shoving him up against the wall. He doesn't need air to survive, but he's forgotten that in his panic. He gasps desperately, clawing at the hand wrapped tight around his neck. You know we don't need the exclamation marks. I'm sorry, but we don't. That face is enough, thank you. Cersei stares into his eyes the entire time. She doesn't want to miss the moment the fight leaves him, the moment he realizes he doesn't stand a chance. She's older. She's stronger. She's going to kill him. She's going to fucking kill him. Please. Shelley notices he's crying when a stray tear hits her skin. Typical. When threats don't work, they always resort to begging. Please don't. Please, I don't know what I've done to piss you off, but... She can feel the joy seeping out of her as Seth's crying grows louder. She forgot how annoying it can be to kill fanglings. They're too sensitive. Whether it's pain or pleasure, they feel everything too strongly. That's why they don't last long without an older vampire to guide them in their first year. Leave them to their own antics and they'll fuck like rabbits and die like cattle. Why are you doing this to me? Quit wailing and I'll get to that part. A little hard not to wail when you're about to kill me, but sure, I'll be bloody quiet. She lifts her chin, daring him to speak another word. I'm waiting. Perfect. Listen, I think we both can agree you've been stupid. Least you could have done is be more careful with where you take your meals. Not eaten as many sheep from the same pen. Then maybe no one would have noticed. But no, on top of that, you were childish enough to play with your food and leave evidence behind. She sees the exact moment her words start to seep into his dumb little brain. The games you like weren't very fun for your playmates, were they? Of course, you liked that they didn't like it. Didn't you? That's what this is about. They were fucking into it. And you talk like I've been touching them. I haven't. I never said that. I'm not sick. My mom taught me better. I see. So she warned you not to stick your dick where it's unwanted, but she forgot to tell you not to eat people? Don't bother denying it. You torture them, Seth. You snack on their flesh while they still breathe. So what if I like to steal a bite? Their blood is good enough to drink, but their flesh is too dirty for us? Every vampire's tried meat once. Yes, even you, I bloody know you have. And like I already told you, they fucking enjoyed it. Her fingers twitch, her grip on his throat threatening to tighten. Did they tell you that before or after you drained and defiled them? I'd ask them personally, but last I checked, the dead don't talk. Well, with the exception of us. Well, why does that even matter? Aren't we the same? Aren't we? Then you should know it isn't fair to judge me. We're fucking vampires! Apex predators! Top of the... Oh god, not this speech again. Not this speech again. Who cares what happens to the cat? Yeah, okay. We're really just... Did they write this with a copy of TV Tropes open in the next window? God, can you get any more cliche? See, that's the problem with vampires like yourself. You have no regard for consequences. You think that just because you can, you should. Well, let me clue you in on a little secret. She squeezes hard, strangling him. You shouldn't have. Release him. You've got to be kidding me. Release him. I will not repeat myself. There's only one vampire in this city who would dare order Cersei around like that. Abraxas? Captain of the SSF's North Haven branch, the lone vampire on his team. His agents respect him as a leader, but his loyalty to the SSF has made him unpopular with the local supernaturals. Rumor has it that Abraxas once lived as an aristocrat and still owns a mansion somewhere at the outskirts of North Haven. He has declined to comment. This is your final warning, Miss Cersei. I strongly recommend that you heed it. I heard you the first time, Abraxas, but I'm not one of your lapdogs. You should ask nicely if you want me to do something for you. As if playing nice with you has ever done anyone any good. How would you know? You've never tried. You're trying to distract me, but your efforts are in vain. Tonight, I have even less patience for your antics than usual. Seth is under the protection of the supernatural secrecy for this little weasel? Why? If you harm as much as a hair on his head, you will be in defiance of North Haven's supernatural law. Purely out of childish spite, she considers plucking a hair from Seth's head just to prove a point. It'll grow back in seconds after all. Release him. Let me handle him. It's not as if it was my first crime. I've broken at least 2 laws just tonight. This is a serious matter. How serious? I cannot say much. Just know that Seth is our only witness to an important investigation. I am? He is? In her surprise, Cersei drops Seth on his behind. Seth scrambles to his feet, running to hide behind Abraxas' imposing frame. It's hard to tell, but beneath that thick jacket, Abraxas is hiding almost 6 feet and 5 inches of lean muscle. If only he'd use all those muscles for something productive, like throwing me around a bedroom. What, really? We're thinking about this now? But I digress. Normally, no self-respecting vampire would run to an SSF agent for help, but Seth either doesn't know that or... Yeah, no, he definitely has no respect for himself. Follow me. One of my agents is waiting for us around the corner. Hey, where do you think you're going? I'm not done with you. Abraxas answers without pause. I am. I'm not! I fail to see how that's my problem. Abraxas couldn't look more bored if he tried. It's infuriating how he always carries himself with perfect poise, even as his shoulders hang heavy with guilt he thinks no one can see. Thank you for not putting up too much of a fight this time, Miss Cersei. I appreciate it when you are willing to collaborate. Unlike the rest of his good-for-nothing squad, Abraxas has never, not even once, flinched in the face of her wrath. But there's always a time for firsts. Collaborate? You want me to show you how I collaborate? She storms up to him. Even in heels, she has to glare up at him, but the height difference has never intimidated her. This is unnecessary. I could hear you perfectly fine where you stood. Go fuck yourself! Not even a flinch. Very mature. You are more than welcome to waste my time any other night, Miss Cersei. Just not this one. He tries to sidestep her, but she follows, blocking his path. Don't pretend you're above this. You love arguing with me. That's why you're always in my business, messing with my work. His brows furrow. It's the only hint that her words have affected him in any way. I am not in your business. You're in mine. Right, sure, that's why I stalked you here. Oh wait, that wasn't me, that was you. Oh please, I did not stalk you. Then how'd you find us? Coincidence. Coincidence? Seriously? That's the best you could think of? It isn't the first time you've brought prey to this alley. I was in the area looking for Seth and figured it would be worth a look. So yes, it is nothing more than a coincidence that I found you. He moves to pass her again, but she moves again to block him. Do you even know who you're protecting here? Do you know what this bastard does to his victims? He doesn't just drain them, he tortures them. He deserves worse than death. You're one to talk, you just tried to kill me. Seth pushes out his chest, mimicking Abraxas' stance the best he can. Kid, shut up. You saw what she did. You saw everything, right, Captain? Quiet. But Seth only gets louder. You did. You saw how this she-devil threatened me. That's attempted murder. What are you waiting for? Do your job and arrest her. Oh my god, who is this kid? To be fair, this is not the thirstiest protagonist we've ever had in one of these. That is resolved for that's reserved for that in your orbit character, remember? It was literally on the verge of death and still mourning their vibrator more than anything else. Cersei doesn't rise to her own defense. There's no need, because she sees Abraxas' response coming from a mile off. On what grounds? What? I just told you! She tried to murder me! That isn't something the SSF is concerned with. We cannot get involved every time there is a minor squabble between two supernaturals. But... shut it! They trade a peeved glance at the unintentional coordination. After a stony stare, Abraxas is first to break the tense silence. You have no authority here, Miss Cersei. Now go your way, and I'll go mine. The palm of his cold hand ghosts along the small of her back, gently pushing her aside. Then he grabs Seth by the elbow to drag him to the mouth of the alley. Cersei follows, right at their heels. What happens to him after you get what you need? We'll follow protocol and release him. But he's a criminal! Because he's predictable like that, Abraxas just offers her the usual spiel. The SSF is a counter-terrorism and intelligence agency. We investigate and neutralize supernatural threats for the greater good of society. We have neither the time nor a reason to chase down all the addicts, muggers, and vandals who haunt these streets. But even if I wanted to do something, we have no case against him. I cannot abuse the law by detaining him without proof of a crime. My word is your proof. Have I ever lied to you before? Many times. But I'm not lying this time! Abraxas pauses, turning to look at her. She meets his assessing stare with confidence. If you have proof that this vampire has violated supernatural law, you should gather your evidence and report it to the Supernatural Crime Division. I'll put in a word with the inspector or whoever's on shift to make sure he's looked into as soon as possible. And if he is indeed guilty of the claims you make, I'll personally ensure that he gets what he deserves. Now will you please step aside and let me do my job? She steps back, hiding her fangs between tightly pressed lips. Fine. She's not going to report shit. By the time they get through the backlog to his file, Seth will already have fled the city. She'll surrender him to SSF custody for now. There's no other option. But as soon as he's out of their sight... Pfft. Seth snickers under his breath. Serves you right, you stupid 1 second, Seth's taunting her. The next, he's curled up on the floor, clutching his broken nose as he cries out in pain. Ah, fuck! What was that for? It happens so fast, she almost misses the look of uncharacteristic rage on Abraxas' face. Mind your tongue in the presence of a lady. Clearing his throat, he actually has the audacity to look sheepish when his eyes meet Cersei's. We'll take a detour. The nose will heal before we reach the office. Hope your car crashes on the way. For a split second, she thinks she sees the ghost of a smile grace his lips. Great, now I'm hallucinating. Good night to you too, Miss Cersei. He grabs the back of Seth's hoodie, effortlessly lifting him with one arm and carrying him out of the alley. She doesn't watch them leave. She's too pissed to spend another second here. Hello. Once she's certain she's still alone, she transforms and flies into the night. And yeah, this is definitely where I leave matters, because I'm well off to late. But you don't just leave it when you're about to catch the. I wish we'd been able to crush him, like squish, compact him into a little cube, because I didn't like him very much. This Seth individual. At least we weren't thirsting over the Seth individual. This is good. We have some standards. Just, Jesus Christ. I'm clearly not entirely down for some of these where they go directly to the ooh, hot meat, let's do it, baby kind of thing. I don't get how that is a thing. I mean, I'm too ace for this. That really is all of it. I can't imagine looking at somebody and go, yes, that, all of that in my bed right now. I can't do it. I mean, I get it in theory, but it kind of makes me roll my eyes regardless, just on the basis that I get it intellectually, but I don't feel it in my bones. It's like a friend of mine, he was over for dinner like quite some while back. He still has one of my ramekins, actually, but he actually asked me, what is it like to not have sexual attraction? And it's really hard to describe in negative, but this is kind of how you do it. It's the looking at this and going, but why? Why would you want some guy that looks like what would happen if you gave a kid a black card and sent them into Hot Topic? Anyway, I mean, clearly there's some parts of this story that I quite like. There's some interesting takes on the vampire mythos, although I wish I had a bit more of a glossary on the things like what does and doesn't kill a vampire, because I be like that a terrible lot of the time. I want the nitty-gritty. I want the glossary. I want the codex entries. You do not understand how much I want the codex entries on everything and everyone around me all the time. Give me lore. Give me all the lore. But I didn't get the lore. So, oopsie. That's disappointing, but I'm kind of used to that, especially in a game that is very clearly all about the let's thirst. Okay, this. Anyway, yeah. I can also see where it is trying to tempt you to look into the other storyline, and that's still my problem. I would actually be happy enough with this game if I could forget that there was another storyline going on that I'd have to play to get the full game. But now it keeps reminding me of this. I don't need it to remind me of this. I can deal with Cersei being a flirty, completely up yourself bitch, but, certain amount of charm involved in that, fine, but, I don't really want to do the half hellhound thing, and yet it's making it very, very clear to me that I won't understand the entire story of North Haven if I don't. Also, do these people have any fucking clue what England looks like? 'Cause it's pretty clear they don't. I'm gonna need to look up where Foxglove Games is from, because I'm not seeing England. I'm certainly not seeing. I read a lot about Wad Hunter, actually. The thing was that I know from my own personal experience that I'm not great at shorter stories, and a good Hunter campaign actually needs to be a mini campaign, because you're mortals, and you're going after the supernatural, and there are laws that you don't have the powers to evade. So A good hunter who's actually successfully doing their job is either dying at the hands of the supernatural or getting arrested or committed. I think and that was one thing about my ex up until the point where he basically consistently flaked on running anything ever, was always the best one at running the short-lived campaigns. He was going to run Hunter for my birthday one year. But on the day of, he went, no, I have no inspiration. I'm not feeling it. And I kind of had to do it. So that was a thing. I think the last thing he ever ran for us was a Technocracy one-shot. That was hilarious, actually. But yeah, no, it's reasonably well written. Few enough spelling errors, which was good. The few places where I had questions over the wording was just when they were losing me. The characters, they're the kinds of ones you love to yell at, which is nice, I guess. I mean, if you're into that sort of thing, which I obviously occasionally am. But I don't like the knowledge and constant reminder that you A, only get a limited choice of characters, B, that your romance options are limited because of that diverging story, and yeah, that you actually miss a whole bunch of story if you don't play character that maybe you don't want to play as. It's one thing when you've only got the one choice. I would be down with playing Cersei if that was my only option. But I don't really want to play Dante. Dante does not interest me. But, Anyway, this one's release date is to be announced, and given that, as you might have seen at the very beginning, it's on a Kickstarter, and that Kickstarter is less than half funded with 3 weeks to go, I can see why release date is up in the air. If you're thinking of backing it, but want to try the story branch I didn't investigate before you do, or if you just want to put it on your wish list based on what you've seen, maybe give the demo a try, see how you take to it. Remember, my opinion is not the be-all and end-all, and sometimes the feel of playing a game, or in this case, just trying the different branch that I didn't, it can make or break your enjoyment. So try before you buy wherever possible. Like I say, especially here, when you're only seeing a demo of half the game. Try before you back, too. That's another good way of putting it, given, Kickstarter. For those who like a text-based and digression-free review, that will be up on my Ko-fi page shortly. Never a paywall, I do it for the love of the games. But, maybe toss some folks in my general direction if you like what I do. I like the company. The review will have the embedded VOD, which will also be on YouTube to join my gallery of epic, ridiculous, and occasional profane flail, in case you joined late or just fancy coming back to it later. I'll also put the link to the Kickstarter in case you were interested in looking into that and wanted to deal with it, and I haven't had time to look at the Kickstarter page. This is not one of my D&D weekends this coming weekend, so unless I wind up in too much pain or fatigue, Sunday will be the game in full night. I'm just not sure which the game I'm actually going to bring out in full yet. I've got half a week to figure it out, though. For Friday, though, I'll break out that blooming suspicion witchy detective romance visual novel thing I've been putting off for weeks. More yelling at prospective love interest while solving mysteries, which seems to be my niche at the moment. At least people seem to find it entertaining. Anyway, more audience is more people to laugh at my expense as I flail, which I don't mind, so I hope to see you there. Until then, or until next, have a good one.